It's Tuesday, the 31st of May, 2022. Welcome to the Fast Five by Fear and Greed, where we give you the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Michael Thompson, and good morning, Sean Aylmer.
Good morning, Michael.
All right, 5 stories in 5 minutes. Let's jump into it. Story number 1, Sean, I think it's a fascinating story. Big developments yesterday. AGL Energy has scrapped its plans to split its power generation and retail businesses, essentially handing a win to activist shareholder Mike Cannon-Brookes. As a result, the group's chair, CEO, and 2 other directors are going to step down, leaving the 185-year-old company's future pretty unclear.
That's right. The board of AGL over the weekend dumped next month's vote to split, apparently fearful of not reaching the needed 75% benchmark. As you mentioned, Chair Peter Botten, Chief Executive Graham Hunt, and another couple of directors will all leave. In a statement, AGL said it will undertake further consultation, including with Mr. Cannon-Brookes' company, Grok Ventures. But it's not quite clear what the way forward is now. Mike Cannon-Brookes, through his relentless campaigning in the mainstream and social media, really showed that public opinion matters inside boardrooms across the country. Reports suggest retail shareholders didn't want the demerger. Now, the company's share price fell 2% yesterday. That was a fall, but it's not really a slump. So maybe there's still some corporate activity out there on that one. I think there are wider implications more generally, though. It backs up what we saw in last week's federal election. Climate change is a big issue in the economy. The message to corporate Australia is that anyone emitting carbon needs to manage change to a greener future. They need to be responsible for what they're doing.
All right, on to story number 2, and it was a big day yesterday in politics. As often happens after an election loss, there is leadership changes, and it's happened now for both the federal Liberal and National parties. Both got new leaders. Peter Dutton elected unopposed to head the Libs, and David Littleproud defeating Barnaby Joyce and Darren Chester to take over the helm of the Nats.
That's right. Mr. Dutton said he's incredibly proud to be elected and he has the relentless resolve to be Prime Minister. He promised to remain true to Liberal values and not be Labor light. The new opposition leader said he'll focus on forgotten Australians in suburbs and rural Australia. Now, one of Mr. Dutton's more controversial moments was walking out of Kevin Rudd's apology to the stolen generation in 2008. Yesterday, he apologised for that. Susan Lee was elected Deputy Liberal Leader. David Littleproud was congratulated by his predecessor, Barnaby Joyce, and then faced a grilling over the Nats' climate change policies. Littleproud said the party had signed a commitment to net zero by 2050 and would stick to that.
Okay, on to story number 3, and we talk a lot about the airlines, Sean, and one of them, Regional Express, is going to withdraw services now to 5 regional centres when federal government subsidies come to an end in a month's time.
That's right. The routes are from Sydney to Grafton, Sydney Lismore, Sydney Bathurst, Sydney Ballina. They're all in New South Wales, and then Adelaide to Kangaroo Island in South Australia. These routes have been subsidised by the government payments, and yesterday Deputy Chair of Rex, John Sharp, blamed Qantas's predatory actions on Rex's regional routes, which means the smaller airline can't cross-subsidise marginal routes. Now, Rex has previously announced its intention to stop flying Melbourne-Albury and Sydney-Canberra due to excess capacity on those routes.
Okay, on to story number 4, Sean, and this is pretty incredible. A tweet from US President Joe Biden has helped a tiny Australian company's share price jump more than 40%.
Yes, Bubs Australia's share price jumped that much after agreeing to send 1.25 million tins of baby formula to the US to ease a nationwide shortage. That lack of baby formula is a national emergency in the US at the moment. One of their major producers over there, Abbott Laboratories, had to close one of its facilities after 4 babies fell ill from its product and 2 of them tragically died. That resulted in the US lifting import restrictions. Yesterday, US President Joe Biden tweeted that Bubs Australia had come to the rescue. Now, the deal was brokered by former Treasurer and US Ambassador Joe Hockey, another interesting aspect to that particular story. Bub's rival A2 Milk, its share price jumped 10%. I'm sure it wants to get in on the action too.
Yeah, sounds like it. Story number 5, Sean, and there is a business news angle to everything, and we're going to find that here because one of the biggest movies in years opened over the weekend, Top Gun Maverick. It took in $248 million US, about half of which was in the US.
Yes, the Tom Cruise flick cost about $150 million to make, so $248 means it's made its money back well and truly within about 5 days. The movie's release was actually delayed 2 years due to the COVID pandemic. Of course, it's the sequel to the 1986 film Top Gun. That helped make Tom Cruise what he is today. Looks like this one is going to be a mega hit as well.
Yeah, sounds like it. That's it. The top 5 business stories in 5 minutes. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Michael.
It's Tuesday, the 31st of May, 2022. Remember to hit follow on the podcast, and if 5 minutes isn't enough, you can find our longer daily show called Fear and Greed wherever you listen to podcasts. I'm Michael Thompson, and that was the Fast 5 by Fear and Greed. Have a great day.